Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm here today to do a review on the tool bucket from Sitka. Okay, so there are a couple different versions of this tool bucket. This is the newer version. The older version had the flat came all the way down and it did not have a rigid back. So I've seen that one in a few outdoor stores and things like that, and when I saw it, I looked it over, and especially for the price, I really wasn't impressed with it. So when my buddy Kyle said he was getting a new pack and he said he's getting a tool bucket, I really didn't think too much about it at first. And then when he started telling me about all the features of this thing, I started putting two and two together and realized that that's not the same pack that I looked at a couple years ago. So this is new and redesigned, and it is, after Kyle brought it in and showed it to me, I told him, I said, I've got to borrow that, I've got to take it home, and I've got to do a review on it because I absolutely love this thing. There are a lot of really cool features on it, and we're probably going to miss a few because I think Sitka gets charged by the word that they put on their website, because there are very, very few details on their website about this pack. Underneath features and specs on their website, it literally has a bullet point and says imported. That's it. It has the weight and the size on this thing in cubic inches. That's about it. So I had to run around and from different websites that I don't normally like to do, like we're going to Shields and Amazon and things like that. I like to get my information straight from the manufacturer, but there just wasn't a lot of information on there. There were a few videos that I watched that were from Sitka, but I found what details I could find on it, and this is just not going to be that jam-packed, really deep dive into the features that I normally do. I'll do what I can on it. A lot of it's kind of self-explanatory on this pack, but we'll do what we can and we'll show you what we can show you on this pack. But there's just not a lot of details out there about this thing. Okay, so first up, what information I did get from Sitka is this is 54.7 ounces, so 3.5 pounds, right at 3.5 pounds. So it's not a very light pack right from the get-go, but this is a day pack. This is the kind of pack that you are going to use in a situation where you're going to set all day. So 3.5 pounds. I got two other packs down here, and they both weigh right at about the same. So 3.5 pounds sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much for a backpack. Total volume on this is 1,800 cubic inches, so that's quite a bit. I got another pack. One of my packs down here has 1,100 cubic inches, and I think the other one has 1,600 cubic inches. So a lot of storage on this thing, a lot of pockets. This thing has 17 storage compartments in it. We're going to open it up and we're going to show you all the storage compartments on it. This has a deployable blaze orange pack, or blaze orange flag, which we'll get to. We'll show you. This is really cool. You can pull this thing out, which I don't even know where it is. Yep, it is. We'll have to find it. So there's a deployable blaze orange pack that will come right down here, and it hooks on a couple of different corners of your pack here, and it'll stretch it out. And I like that because it gives you that extra blaze orange that you're covering up when you have this pack on your bag. This has side pockets on it for water bottles, or this side pocket over here has actually got a couple different compartments on it for a water bottle and one above it. So I really like that. You put your water bottles in there. This has a bucket style design, so it's got a rigid back, and when you open this thing up, you can hang it by this flap, which we'll do in here in just a minute. You can unzip this front part right here. It's got a magnet that goes down, and then all of your pockets are right there and exposed, so you can get to all of your gear. You hang it up just like that, and all of your gear is in here. This reminds me a lot of a product that I reviewed when I was very first starting out, and I cannot remember what it was called. I think it may have been called the tree silencer. It went on your tree and strapped around your tree and had a bunch of pockets on it and things like that, and just was a storage, a way for you to organize your gear in the tree stand. And I loved that thing, but it was just big and cumbersome, and it wasn't a backpack, and just it got to the point where I just did not use it. So this thing is ideal for people like me who really want to have everything organized and really want to have everything easily accessible at a moment's notice. So this also has where you can strap your bow or your rifle. They don't advertise crossbow, but you can stick a crossbow on this thing as well. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. We're going to show you all the pockets on this thing, and we'll show you all the features of this thing as it's opened up, and then we'll go ahead and put a bow on it and show you how it fits up with the bow on there and how to put that on there as well. Okay, so you can see this is the way you would hang this thing in your tree stand. has a grommet right up here, and this is a really heavy duty grommet. And everything on this bag is really well made. This back has got it's got a soft feel to it. It's got some padding, which we'll flip it around and show you in a minute. The shoulder straps and the padding on the back, but it's got a thick, rigid back in here, and it feels really good. It feels like almost like a foam or a neoprene or something like that. And it's got a good waterproof material over the outside of it. It's got good quality zippers on it, which are not overly loud. I like zippers over Velcro, and it's got a compression system on it, which we'll show you when we fold it up. It's got it's got a magnet down here, which I really like, so holds that down. So while you're zipping this thing across, you don't have to worry about that thing coming up on you. It's gonna hold that thing down. The pocket layout is really cool too. So up here is the blaze orange flag that I told you about, that you're going to be able to deploy and put out so that your blaze orange is visible while you're wearing this backpack. Then it's got two mesh pockets here, which I like as well. And it says that these are, in the video that I watched, it said these are mesh, and it makes it where you can see what's inside there. But I got a camera in here, a little GoPro, and you cannot see what's inside of there. So I call BS on that part, and that was a video from Sitka. So unless they changed it up and I don't know it, but these mesh pockets are not see-through. They are breathable, and they are pretty thin. I would be worried about ripping one of those, putting anything super sharp in there. But if you keep stuff, like grunt calls and things like that, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But if you're going to put something like that in there that's got some kind of sharp edges on it and some rough edges on it, I would be kind of careful with these, because they do seem pretty thin. But we'll see how things go long term. Just like that, as I was bringing out, I caught it just right there, and if that corner would have been metal rather than rubber, it might have torn through that. So that is a pretty thin mesh right there, and we'll see how that holds up. So you got two pockets there, and this is what I really like here. You've got a pocket right here. You've got a deeper pocket behind it, which is really deep. You can see there, that's probably, I don't know, 7-8 inches deep or more. And then you got another main compartment right here, which is again really big. You can see you can fit stuff down in there, no problem. A nice big compartment for your bigger things like your rope. And then all these individual pockets on the inside. You got 3 pockets right here, which you can put flashlights and game calls and things like that in here. You got the pockets on the inside, which here go all the way down. That's what I like that too. So you can put a camera arm in there. You can put a tripod in there if you can fold it down long enough. This goes all the way down to the bottom. So I like the way the pockets are designed on this. So during the rut, that's when when I get to the stand, it takes me 10 to 15 minutes to set up during the rut, because I get there, I get my release on, I get my bag opened up, and I get my pocket with my rangefinder unzipped, and then I get my calls out, and I get those hung up to where they're easily accessible. And then I got a pocket on my jacket that I put my release in, and where it's easily accessible and things like that. Because I use a release that doesn't have a wrist strap on it. I'll use this one just like this while I'm practicing around the house, but then during deer season I usually take the wrist strap off of it. So I like to have that easily accessible. So I'll put it in my jacket pocket, and with this pocket setup, you can literally get to the tree stand. You can hang this on your bow hook, and if you're using a very, very heavy, if you've got it loaded down, you're probably going to want to put 2 and hang it by the hook and by this grommet as well, the handhold on there, so it gives it enough support to really hold that thing up. But when you get there, you can have your grunt calls in there, you can have your rattling antlers down here. I mean, I got my rattling antlers right here, and you can put your rattling antlers right down here in this pocket down here, and have them accessible with all of your grunt calls and your estrus calls in there. Your grunt tubes will be easily accessible, so you can put them right there. So as a deer is coming up to you, which my rattling antlers would not be here, my rattling antlers would be still hanging up in the tree and be ready to grab if I needed them. But I'm not normally doing that when a deer is close by. So if I wanted to, if I had a deer that was within range, or within where I thought that deer could see me moving and hear me, I could easily reach over into this bag, pull out my grunt call silently, make a call, and then put this thing right back down in there, nice and quiet, without having to unzip a pocket, without having it hanging. You know, you get them hanging up, and so you got to make a grunt, and then you got to turn and try to do that blind where you're hanging that thing up and still watch that deer. Generally, you're going to have to take your eyes off of the deer. Or on my other bag, I just have it open and I would put this down in the main pocket, and then it would always fall down in there. Then if I needed it again, it would be hard to get to. With this, it's got its own little compartment right here that I can put it in, and then when I need it, I can use it. And then when I don't, when I want to put it down, I can put it right there, and then again, if I need it again, it's easily accessible. So I like the way that that's set up for the rut and for things like that. Now during early season and things like that, I'm going to have my rangefinder in there, and I'm not going to have my rattling antlers, but it's just going to make the setup time when you get to your tree stand minimal. It's going to make it, it's probably going to reduce it for me from down to about a 15-minute setup time to 6 or 7 minute setup time. It's also going to make it very quiet and very easy for you to access your gear, and I love that because I've lost deer in the past and had deer bust me because I'm trying to get something out of my pack and it's in a zipped up pocket, or I didn't prepare properly, or something like that. I didn't see the deer coming and now it's going away and I want to grunt at it, and it busts me as I'm reaching for my grunt call or something like that. So I love the way the pockets are laid out on this thing, and I think it's going to really help in a field to make you more quiet and therefore make you more deadly. Okay, so what you can do here is you can roll your jacket up and you can put that on there, and then you just pull this over the top and hook it to the back like I had it, and then you just pull this tight and you've got your jacket secured there. Like I said earlier, you could also put your jacket right in here and just pull across there and tighten it up there, and use both of those straps there as well to put your extra clothing on there. So while we've got this opened on the outside, let's show you some of the features of the outside. So you have your straps there. You also have a couple straps on the bottom, which are compression straps, so you can pull this thing down super tight. These things will go across here. Those are compression straps. If you've ever carried a bag with compression straps, you will know that it makes a huge difference. So again, you got your pockets on here, you got your water bottles on each side. You have two pockets. You have a pocket there, and you have your water bottle pocket, which I like as well. Compression straps there, compression strap on this side to strap that up, and then on top, let's unhook these here. So this has got quarter zips across each side. Going to secure that down. It's got this here, and then on the bottom you can actually pull that tight, and it will pull this piece right here tighter if you want that to be tighter. This strap right here is going to hook to your bow, which we're going to show you in a few minutes. You can hook this right to your bow, and it'll help to secure your bow to the pack. It also has a pocket right here on the outside, which is super handy. On the video that I watched, the guy actually took his pull-up rope and he put his pull-up rope, he tied his pull-up rope right here, and it stuck his pull-up rope down into this pocket here and zipped it up. And then when he got to the tree stand, he had his bow hooked to his bag. He unzipped this, pulled his beginnings of his pull-up rope out, and then he just secured it back like that. And as he climbed the tree, it just came out of the top of here, and then when he got up in the tree, he just pulled the thing right up as it was secured to this, and pulled his bow and his backpack up all in one, and it was a super nice way of doing it. So I really like that setup of putting your pull-up rope right here, securing it to this tab right here, and then just dispensing it as you climb the tree and pulling that up the whole way. Let's show you that orange too. So what this is going to do is you can just actually put that down just like that, close your top on there, and then it's got these bungee cords in each corner, so you can actually just hook this to the corner of each one of the bags. As you have this thing full, it would hold it on there and have a little bit more retention, but it's got some hooks on there, so you can just actually pull this right around and hook it. Where did I see the hooks at? Okay, so it looks like you're going to be able to pull it around and hook it right there, which, like I said, on this bag, there's just a lot of information out there that I had a hard time finding. So I like that because it's going to keep you safe during rifle season and still allow you to have your blaze orange visible while you have your backpack on, which has always been an issue to me. I've always been leery, especially when I was hunting public land, about covering up my blaze orange when I had my backpack on. So I never liked the idea of doing it. So let's turn this thing around here and show you the other side as well. So on the back side here, you got a couple different pads on here. You got a nice pad on the back side here. You have a chest strap as well. These are some nice, thick shoulder straps. They're wide, they're shaped properly. They have some reinforcement in them for this compression strap, so when you pull on that thing, it's not going to pop it loose and break it. It's got a couple of, that's where you hook that thing up right there. I knew I saw some tabs on there, just couldn't figure out where they went to. So on your shoulder straps, you're going to have a couple of elastic bands there. I've seen these on a lot of packs, and I never figure out what to use them. I generally will end up putting a knife under there and duct taping it to it, but I wouldn't do that with this bag. And this spot right here is going to be great for a wind detector. So I'm always, as I'm walking to the stand, I usually get my wind detector out and put it in my pocket. And as I'm walking to the stand, I just keep testing the wind to make sure I'm going to the right stand for the wind that I have. So that's the back of it. And that's how it's set up. It's a pretty nice back, and I'll tell you what, this thing is really comfortable. So let's go ahead and strap a bow onto this thing. Okay, so this is much easier to do laying down. I tried doing it on where everything looked nice, and it just was too hard. So it's much easier to do laying down. So you're going to notice on these two compression straps that it has these two triangles, and what those are for is so you can go through and make a loop and bring it back through that and pull against it. And one of the nice things about it is it's really sewn well on that strap, so you can really pull against that thing. So my bow is gonna hook up a little bit differently than most bows because I'm shooting this really small gearhead 24, so my cam's really close to my handle. So it's going to hook up just a little bit different than most bows, and I would probably find a way to run this through the riser on my bow because I have this bridged riser, and I can probably run it through right there and hook it up on this side and cradle it that way. So I'll probably do something like that on my bow. You see again there, now that doesn't work. So just doing a little bit of experimenting with it is going to show that that's not going to be, may not be the best way to do it. But what I did earlier when I was experimenting with it, and what the guy did on the video, is actually run this one. He actually looped this around the bottom of the bow, around the cam. What seemed to work best for me on this gearhead bow was just to run it right through the bottom of the cam there. All this bottom strap is doing is cradling the bow and kind of holding the bottom up against the pack. So you're just going to want to run it right through that bottom cam, secure that bottom cam somehow. As again I said, it's going to be a little bit different on your bow compared to this gearhead because this gearhead is so short. I might even do something like this. Open that up a little bit more and actually push the bow down and pull that up just like that, and then tighten it down over the top of the bow there. So I'm going to have to come up with something special, some different way of doing that. But this, from here on up, is exactly how the guy at Sitka did it on the video. So you wrap that around your handle just like that, and you come back through that triangle and pull this thing through, and then hook it up on the other side. A little slack in there. So hook that up on the other side and then just pull that thing tight. And when you pull that thing tight, it's going to secure your handle. It's really tightened down on the handle now, so it's really well secured. And then on the top, they have this really neat, really innovative little spring-loaded clip. So you're just going to pull that through. You're just going to wrap that around, and then what you're going to do is run that clip right over that, and then just end up closing it. So we're just going to run that right over the top limb of our bow, run it through just like that, and then just close that thing up, and then we're going to pull that tight. And now our bow is completely secured to the backpack. Okay, so that's a Sitka tool bucket. Is it a perfect backpack? No. I don't think there is such a thing as a perfect backpack. I am I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to backpacks. I want them to be a certain way, and and to perform a certain function. I want them to be laid out in a certain way. I'm very meticulous about the way my tools are laid out when I'm working, and I'm very meticulous about the way my gear is laid out when I'm hunting. And it took me a long time to find a backpack I liked. Every year I went from backpack to backpack to backpack until I found the backpack that I'm using now, which is that XOP backpack I reviewed a few years ago. And I love that backpack. So, do I want to spend the $250 to upgrade to a toolbox? And the tool bucket. And do I think this is an upgrade? Yes. Yes, I do. I think that this is an upgrade from my current backpack. I love the way things are laid out. Now, after a season of using this thing, I may change my mind, because I am pretty particular about this kind of stuff. But I do like I like the idea. And you can tell this was designed by a hunter who has run into the same problems that I have run into. So I like the idea of it, I like the way it's set up, and I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. So I will be trying this thing out this year. I'm going to pick up one of these for myself, and I am going to be giving it a shot. Now, after the season's over, we'll see. You may see my tool bucket for sale on Facebook or something, but I have my doubts about it, and I wouldn't be willing to invest $250 into something I thought was going to be a waste of money. So I don't think that this is going to be. And I like everything about this backpack except for a few things. But those are things that I can overlook and things that I think I can get by, and not drive me crazy and not be too bad. So I love this backpack. I think it's going to work out really good. Sitka is some overpriced stuff, but a lot of times you get what you're paying for. This backpack, $250 is a lot of money for a backpack, but man, I think it's worth it, and I think I'll pull the trigger on it. A lot of their gear is overpriced in my opinion, but if I was hunting out west in a lot of hard terrain and put a lot of miles on my boots and putting a lot of wear on my clothing instead of sitting in a tree stand, I'd probably be one of those guys that's wearing Sitka. So definitely check this out. Look somewhere besides Sitka's website, because they don't give you much detail there, but everywhere I looked, this thing was $250, $249 on every website that I looked on. So good luck finding one for less than $250. But this is the tool bucket from Sitka, and it definitely is a backpack that's going to hit the woods with me this year. I'll be picking one up for myself. Thanks to Kyle for letting me borrow this thing and do a review on it. And if you guys want to follow us on social media, we're on I always get that wrong. We're on Instagram and Facebook under Ike's Outdoors. I always put the Ike's Outdoors before everything else. So we appreciate you guys watching these videos, and we will see you next time.